Hello, my name is Lahde, and I'm a software developer. This is my app Menagerie. It was built using JavaScript and React for the front end, as well as Bootstrap and ReactStrap for styling, Cloudinary for image upload, and Firebase for authentication. The backend is constructed using C# with .NET and a SQL Server for our database. The idea behind this app was that if a person has a lot of exotic pets or is a breeder, such as myself, it can become difficult to keep track of different feeding schedules as well as genetics. So this app makes all that a breeze. So let's log in and have a tour. Ignore my weak password. So the user will see all of their pets only, and they're displayed in the order of who needs to be fed next. So you see as we go down the list, the next feeding is in a longer and longer time period with the longest one at the bottom. And then this one, Reggie, is due for a feeding. We can edit any of these details. So he was on a diet, but he's looking good now. So let's bump him back to 14 days. And we see now it's 14 days. And he does need to be fed, so we'll go ahead and do that. You can type anything here, but I'm just going to use it. Same thing I wrote before. Make it today. And now when we go back to this screen, now Reggie's down here because he doesn't need to be fed soon. We also have genes that we can add. And I'm particularly proud of this because the way this data is stored is like the way genetics really work, where they have multiple copies. So if I add another copy of albino, you see he already has one. The data is that he has two copies of albino, but the display is actually how breeders would talk about an animal that has two copies of albino, which is that it's a visual. And then it does the same thing with codominant genes. Bamboo would become super. And then you can just add new ones as well. And then, of course, it works in reverse as well. We can add traits, which traits are just user-defined. So it's only as good as the information you put into it. But if you want to keep track of the traits from your breeding project, you can do that as well. We can add a new pet. Let's upload an image. We're going to add this image of a bearded dragon. And let's say his name is Bob. And he's a bearded dragon. And I forgot the Latin name, and I'm not going to go look it up for this video. Say he's male. We feed him every 3 days, and there are no notes. So now when we go back to our home, now we've got Bob, the bearded dragon. We also have a soft delete, so we can add him to the archive. We can retain his data, but we can lose, he won't be displayed anymore because now he's archived. We can add new genetics. So let's add a new gene. We'll just make it up. Let's call it almond. And we'll say that it's codominant. Add that gene. It can do the same thing with traits. He's cool. There, that was a cool trait. And then these traits will appear on our animals. So let's add our new almond gene. And we're going to add our new trait. Cool. 100% cool. And we also have cascade delete on the traits and the genes. So if I delete almond and I delete cool, I can go back to this screen and now they no longer appear because they've been cascade deleted. So we don't get any trouble of having it in the bridge table, but not on the gene or the trait table. We also have a clutch calculator, and I'm very proud of this one. We create two hypothetical animals. We've got a sire and a dam. We'll just throw some genes on here. And what we can do is simulate what would happen if we were to breed these two. And if you're an actual breeder, you'll realize that the gene combo that I put in there doesn't make any sense, but don't worry about that because we're just showing how this works. And we're going to do 50% red. All right. And we tell it how many offspring we're expecting. Let's say 6. Simulate clutch. And each of these genes has a 50% chance to pass on. If there's 2 copies, it has a 100% chance to pass on. And then traits, of course, are just averaged. So all the traits are going to be 50% magma, 25% red, because they get half from each parent. And then they'll have always 1 albino, always 1 lavender. Half the time they'll have piebald, half the time they'll have bamboo, half the time spider, half the time zebra. We can see we've got a mix here. This one got everything. That's lucky. This one got most of them. Some might only get the bamboo or the albino and lavender. Actually, we got pretty lucky this time. But if we do it again, you can see now this time we got unlucky. We only got the 2 guaranteed ones. Oh, and spider. But yeah, so it's random. So yeah, that's my app. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.